Hey everyone, welcome back to Hersheyland, where we simplify coding for you. Today, we are diving into one of the most important concepts in C Sharp programming, the if statement. Have you ever wondered how these programs make decisions? Or how does an app know when to show an error or allow you to proceed? That's where conditional statements come into play. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how this if statement work, but also you'll learn how to use them effectively in your C Sharp program. So stay with me till the end and let's make decision making in C Sharp easy. Okay, what is an if statement? The if statement is a fundamental control structure in C Sharp. It allows your programs to make decisions based on the condition. If the condition is true, then only the block of code inside that if statement will get executed. Otherwise, it will be skipped. For example, you can think it of like a traffic signal. If the light is green, you go. If it is red, you stop. Correct. Similarly, an if statement checks the condition and it will take the actions accordingly. Okay, let's see the syntax of an if statement. Here you can see inside this if we have this condition. If it satisfies the condition, then only it will execute the code which is present inside this if statement. Otherwise, it will not going to execute the code which is present inside this if statement. It means it will skip that code. Okay. Now you know the syntax of this if statement. Let's see this with a practical example. Let me take an integer and I can give the variable name as number. Okay. Let me assign the value 10. Now I need to add a if condition here. If the number is greater than 5, then only it should come inside this. Okay. Let me print something. I can print it as number is greater than 5. I'll save this and let me run this code. Okay. Since this number is 10, which is greater than 5, so we are getting number is greater than 5. Okay. I'll show in another example. I'll take an integer variable num is equal to 8. Now I need to check whether this number is even number. Okay. So I'll add the if condition here. If num percentage means modulus 2 is equal to 0, then print console.writeline. The number is even. I'll close this parenthesis and I'll add this semicolon. Okay. You know about this modular operator, right? This modular operator gives the reminder. Let me run this code. Yes. Since this 8 is an even number, so it is printing the number is even. Let's change it to 9. Okay. I'll run this code again. Yes. Here you can see in the console it's not printing anything because this 9 is not an even number. I hope you understood how if statement works. Okay. But what if we want to execute a different block of code when the condition is false? That's where if else statements comes in. Imagine you're logging into a website. If username and password match, you get access. Correct. Otherwise, you'll see an error. Similarly, if else statement works in real life. Okay. If the condition is true, then it will execute one block of code. If the condition is false, it will execute another block of code. It mainly used when there is two possible outcomes. Here in you can see the syntax here. If the condition is true, it will execute the first block of code. Okay. Otherwise, it will come to this else block and it will execute another block of code. Let's see this with an example. In this example, let's check the voting eligibility. I'll take an integer variable age is equal to 16. Now I'll add this if condition. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, then it will print console.writeline you are eligible to vote. Else console.writeLine. You are not eligible to vote. Okay, I'll save this. Let's run this code. Yes, since the age is 60, so you are not eligible to vote. This is how this if else statement works. If the condition is true, it will execute this block of code. Okay, so if the condition is false, then it will come to this else block. Okay, let's say another example, checking the login credential. Now I'll take string. Let me give the variable name as password is equal to hello 123. Now I'll add this if condition. The password is equal to secure pass, then print access granted. Otherwise, else print console.writeLine access denied. If the password is equal to secure pass, it will print this line. Otherwise, it will come to this else block. Let's run this code. Yes, we are getting access denied because this password is hello123. It is not equal to this secure pass. So this condition fails. So it comes to this else block and it printed access denied. This is how this if else statement works. I hope you understood how to use this if else statement. Sometimes we need to check multiple condition. That's where else if ladder comes in handy. For example, our grading systems in schools use multiple condition. Like based on your score, you'll get different grades, correct? Similarly, this else if ladder works. It mainly used when there is a multiple conditions to check. Let's see the syntax. See, if the first condition is true, it will execute the first block of code. Otherwise, it will come to this else if block and it will check the second condition. So if this second condition is true, it will execute this code. Otherwise, it will come to this else block. If both the condition are false, then only it will come to this else block. Let's see this with a practical example. Okay, I'll take this grading system example only. First, let me ask the user to enter some marks. Okay, I'll use this console dot write line, enter your marks. Okay, so user will enter their marks. So I need an integer variable to store the marks. Correct. So is equal to, let me use console dot read line. Here we are getting an error because this console dot read line will read a string. Okay, so let me convert it to integer. So convert dot to in 32. Okay, let me close this parenthesis. We are reading and converting the user input to an integer and we are storing it in the variable marks. Okay, so now let's check the grade based on the marks. If marks is greater than or equal to 90, it should print console.writeLine grade A. Else if marks is greater than or equal to, let's take 75. Let's print console dot write line grade B. Else if the sorry, marks greater than or equal to 50, let's print console dot write line grade C. Else print console dot write line grade F. Okay, if the marks is greater than or equal to 90, it will print the grade A. If the marks is greater than or equal to 75, the grade will be B. If the marks is greater than or equal to 50, we'll get the grade C, or else we'll get the grade F. Okay, so let's run this. Yes, it is asking us to enter marks. Let's enter 85. Yes, since the marks is greater than or equal to 75, so we are getting the grade as B here. Okay, let me rerun it again. Now I'll give the marks as 30. Yes, here we are getting the grade as F. Okay, if the first condition execute, it will skip rest all condition. Okay, for example, here if I enter 100, so it will skip all this else if part. Okay, I hope you understood how this else if ladder works. Now, what if we need to check condition inside another if statement? That is called nested if statement. For example, when you log in into an app, first system checks your username. If it is correct, then only it will verify your password. Correct. Similar way nested if statement works. Let's see how we can use this nested if statement in our C sharp. Let's see how we can check the login credential. First, let me ask the user to enter their username. Console dot write line enter username. Okay. By seeing this statement, user will enter the username. So I need one variable to store that value. Let me take string user name is equal to console dot readline. Next, let me ask the user to enter their password. Sorry, write line enter password. Okay, let me take string variable called password. Next, I need to check the username. Correct. So I'll add this if condition username is equal to admin. If the user is admin, then I need to check the password. Password is equal to password 123. Okay, if this condition is true, then it will print it as login successful. Okay, if the password is not correct, then it will print console dot write line incorrect password. If the username itself not correct, it will come to this else block. Okay, so let me print it as console dot write line incorrect username. Okay, first it will ask the username and then it will ask the password. Then it will check whether the username is equal to admin. If it is true, it will come inside this if block. Then it will check the password whether this password is equal to password 123. If the password matches, then it will come to this if block and it will print it as logging successful. Otherwise, it will come to this else block and it will say incorrect password. If the username itself not correct, directly it will come to this else block and it will print incorrect username. Let me run this code. Now it is asking us to enter username. Let me enter it as admin. Now it is asking the password. Let's take the positive scenarios first. Password 123. Yes, now you are getting it as login successful. I'll close this, I'll rerun it again. Now it is asking me to enter the username. Let me give it as Harshita. It is asking me to enter the password. Yes, it is showing incorrect password. Okay, we can also use this logical operators and or not with if statements to check the condition. Let's see this with an example. Okay, let me take an integer variable int age is equal to 18 and string variable string country is equal to India. Now I'll add this if condition. If age is greater than or equal to 18, let me add this logical and operator here, and also country is equal to India. If the both the condition are true, then let me print it as console.writeLine. You are eligible to vote in India. I'll close this parenthesis. Let me add semicolon here. Let's run this code. Yes. Both the condition are true, so we are getting you are eligible to vote in India. This is how we can use this logical operator with if statements. Here are some common mistakes you do with if statement. Forgetting to use double equal to operator for comparisons. So sometimes you may forget to use a double equal to operator when you're doing this comparison. So always use double equal to operator for comparisons and not using curly braces for multiple statements. So whenever you're writing multiple statements, always use curly braces. And never overcomplicate your logic with excessive nested if else statements. Okay, and the last one is ignoring boundary cases when you're checking the conditions. These are the common mistakes you usually do when you're working with if statements. To sum up, the if statement is an essential tool for controlling the flow of your programs based on conditions. You have learned how to use if, else if, and even nested if statements along with logical operators to check multiple conditions. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more C# tutorials. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy coding and have a great day.